also to work with you. Speaking of prizes, this is the 10th year that we have the Dorothy Waxman International Textile Design Prize, which of course is designed to support textile creativity, particularly for young designers who are emerging from schools, who are graduating, who are becoming young practitioners, young designers in the industry. And so we're super thrilled to be joined by Royce Epstein today from Mohawk Group, who has been supporting us almost since the beginning to give away $5,000 each year to the winner. And before we announce today's winner, because the jury this year was finding it quite hard to choose the winner, we actually came up with 3 top finalists, 2 of whom will receive the special jury prize, and 1, of course, will be the winner. This year, the jury was composed of Lee, myself, Royce, and also Sanya Sharma, who is a textile designer who graduated from Parsons Textile MFA. And of course, Dorothy was there to preside over the whole affair. We had 100 schools contribute 350 students to the prize this year. So there were 350 entries, of which we found and decided upon 20 finalists. So it's quite a laborious process. So I'd like to thank Ragnar's team and the other volunteers in the textile industry who went through everybody's application in order to, pre-select the finalists. All the finalists are remarkable people, so I'd like to congratulate all 20 of them. You can see their 5-minute presentations on the textilemonth.nyc website. That's going live today with all of their presentations. So if you're interested in their work, you can follow them, you can collaborate with them, you can give them a job, you can buy pieces from them, you can commission them. So definitely look at all 20 finalists. They're all incredible and creative people. But I asked 3 of the top finalists to be with us today. So we're going to start with Sabrina Stadlober, who has been just graduated from Polimoda's Farm to Fabric to Fashion course. And she's going to share in a very quick way her beautiful thesis. And then we'll hear from the other 2 students as well. So thank you, Sabrina.
Hello, everyone. I'm sharing my screen. Does everybody see full screen?
Not yet. If you can do full screen. Yes, that's perfect. Thanks.
So today I'm presenting my project Soil to Soil, organic couture concept, where the circularity of materials starts in the ground and returns to it. And the foundation for that was my first semester in the master, where we already heard about a bit. And in this time, we learned from the origin of natural fibers. And while that I connected especially to linen, rami, silk, and alpaca. And I sourced them from responsible and ethical sources. And especially for alpaca, I went to Austrian farmers to see how the animals are sheared and how the fiber is processed to get my own materials, which are kept completely natural. So eventually they would go back to the ground again. And when you work so closely with natural fibers, you see that it's really connected to seasonal change and also to the rhythm of nature. In 1 year, you have birth, growth, life, and death, the same as we have in human life, maybe on a longer time span. So for me to show this trans science of being, it made sense to also assign my looks different ages. And while those ages, we are connected to textiles or surrounded by textiles all the time. And the golden thread describes it really well. We are swaddled in it at birth, and shrouds are drawn over our faces in death. When we wake, we clothe ourselves in yet more of it to face the world and let it know who we shall be that day. So I created textiles for all of these ages, which then guided my garment design. And I also looked into traditional Korean costume, especially in the chokori, a jacket and created a round hugging shape out of it and a straight shape. And I also looked onto closure systems because hookahs and zips, they are not decomposable, so they would not work. And starting with a hugging shape, I'm going to youth. It's inspired by the lanugo hair of the baby, which we usually shed before birth or shortly after. And then needle felted wool onto linen to create a trousers and blouse. And I also filled the alpaca wool into a cushion, which can also become a jacket. I hand embroidered it and adorned it with macrame. Moving on to adolescence, here I wove on the shaft loom in contrasting colors, and I created one long pendle, which I looped over the body to create a overall using all of the fabric. And the leftover yarns I used for shoes, and I needle felted on the outfit. And I created also a playful element for this age, because for me it's between childhood and adulthood. So we are moving forward to adulthood. Here again, I wove a really elegant white alpaca panel, and this panel I divided into a coat and skirt, and with it goes a top. This top was woven on a board, which I got from the farm of my grandparents, and age left a structure on it. So I found it really poetically to take the natural alpaca colors and weave after them. And in adulthood, we also take responsibility. So I collected all of the yarns from weaving, and then I knotted them onto a hand-spun macrame skirt, which is an extension of the outfit and goes also with the top. So now we're coming to maturity. This is also what I'm wearing today. And I think at this point of life, life has already left a certain imprint on us and also a tone. And therefore I naturally dyed linen with avocado peel. And then I manipulated it with needles and embroidered it again after the aged wood. And I created one scarf out of warped and winded alpaca and silk yarns, which represent for me the braids of old age and the wisdom. And concluding in this concept, death is not the end, but a new beginning as a source of fertility and new life. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sabrina.
Beautiful. Very well done. People are swooning, so that's a nice part.
Swooning like the hair. So next up, we're going to hear from Daniela Velázquez Suárez, who has been attending the Universidad Iberoamericana in Mexico City. So I'd like to welcome Daniela to share her special and very important project as well.
Hello, everyone. I'm trying to share. Can you see my screen?
Not yet, but when you do share, if you select the window.
Yes.
Now it's working. So if you just do full screen, it's perfect.
View. It's good for you? Yes. Well, hello, everyone. I'm Daniela Velázquez. I'm a textile designer from Mexico, and I would like to start saying thank you so much for the opportunity and for letting me talk about my culture. I studied at Universidad Iberoamericana, and today I'm thrilled to present a design inspired by the extraordinary community of San Juan Chamula, a town islet in Los Altos region of Chiapas, Mexico. This area is renowned for its vibrant Tzotzil Maya tradition, deep spiritual practices, and unique textile artistry. The textiles of San Juan Chamula are far more than mere garments. They are powerful symbols of identity and spirituality. The traditional attire includes black skirts and wipils for women and woolen cooks, which are trousers worn by men. Creating these textiles is a sacred art form. Using traditional backstrap looms, artisans weave intricate patterns that reflect their spiritual connection to nature and cosmological beliefs, symbolizing harmony between humans and the universe. One of the most captivating aspects of Chamula textile is their spiritual significance. The community believes that their garments hold spiritual energy, capturing their soul. This belief is so profound that textiles are often buried with individuals signifying their importance in the afterlife. This practice illustrates a deep respect for the garments as carriers of identity, vitality, and spiritual connection. Additionally, the textiles are crafted using sustainable methods, relying on natural fibers. The wool and the traditional weaving techniques that minimize environmental impact, preserving both cultural heritage and the planet for future generations. My design draws inspiration from this unique tradition, capturing the essence of Chamula's vibrant heritage and spiritual depth, such as their sustainable methods. For the design process, I physically traveled to the region of San Juan Chamula to immerse myself in their environment and understand how the community connects with and projects their identity through the traditional clothing. I then translate my observations into sketches, remaining these elements in a more contemporary form. These are my looks. These are my reinterpretation of the traditional Chamula attire. It includes a long vest with a tail, inspired by the traditional Chamula huipil, and the iconic skirt worn by the Chamula women, to the traditional, to the traditional, the first look, the one with the skirt. I include a pleated blouse as a nod to the traditional blouses worn by the Chamula women. And for the second look, I paired the vest with raw cotton trousers. I also reinterpreted in both looks their iconic embroidery, which is rich in ancient symbolism. The circle represents unity, while the half circles, often used in their designs, symbolizes the crescent moon and new beginnings. I incorporated key elements such as the use of wool and fabric construction on a pedal loom. For the first look, the skirt, I designed two pieces of fabric, one in simple taffeta and the other one with loose threads in the weave, maintaining this artisanal feel. I incorporated pompons, a traditional accessory used in their attire. I stayed true to the traditional colors, black and beige, and I additionally created a poncho woven in taffeta, incorporating loose threads into the weave and leaving a space in the middle for the addition of my reinterpretation of the traditional Chamula embroidery, which was also hand embroidered and later added into the fabric. For the vest, I wove 2.5 meters of taffeta, and I incorporated also those threads into the weave, leaving a space in the middle for the addition of the reinterpretation of the traditional Chamula embroidery, which was also hand embroidered and later added into the fabric. I will also like to mention that for the creation of these pieces, I received assistance for local artisans whose expertise helped me bring this vision to life. This is the first look. Here you can see the embroidery and the pompons. And this one is the second look, the best. And thank you very much for your time and your attention. Sorry about my English. I try my best.
It's perfect, Daniela. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful work with us. We're super thrilled to have met you through this process. And so last, we'd like to ask Kira ZANDER to present her work to us. She has been studying at the Institut Français de la Mode, the IFM, and she's in the middle of Paris Fashion Week. So thank you for stepping out of your internship to be with us online.
Of course, hi everyone. I'm super happy to get the opportunity to be back here and see you all and present my work again. So yeah, we stop the fashion craziness for a moment and go into this. So I'm gonna show you today my final master collection, which is called Ilaria, the Language of Stones, and is an homage to my sister Ilaria. Ilaria has been born disabled and is unfortunately unable to speak. My mom has been adopting her when she was a little baby, and we have always been really close and spent hours walking the coastline in northern Germany, where we were looking for interesting stones. And we really love to study their shapes and textures and silently admiring these little pieces of treasures. And it has become our unspoken language of stones. Despite the challenges Ilaria faces, she has always been very particular about what she's wearing and got a very intuitive way of mixing proportions and textures. And through my collection, I have tried to capture both the beauty of the stones we collected together, as well as the pure and sensitive spirit of Ilaria. For my collection, I brought back a box of stones, which we collected together. And for each look, I have been assigning one stone and connected it with a picture, which I have been taking from her over the years of looks I really loved on her. And another important element in this collection has been a ceramic course, which I've been doing with her to share a passion of mine with her, and to let her experiment and speak through another material. And I really love those little objects she has been creating at the end, which then later on in my process led me to integrate some draping and really step away from the classical, let's just do a sweater because I'm doing chunky knitwear. So I really tried to push myself and see how far I could go with the volume of my knits and explore this and really work with the material and let it speak on its own. But also the ceramic objects have been leading me to my final decisions in terms of accessories for my shoes. Yeah, you can see a picture of the finished first look. And yeah, my whole collection has been done in knitwear. So I have been programming and knitting everything myself on a stole machine. And I spend a lot of time in experimenting with different yarns, really trying to find a language through the threads for our stones we picked. And yeah, I really love this process of trying endless samples and just experimenting. But I also, to put some contrast, I added some leather because there has been those leather trouser my mom has been sewing for my sister, which she absolutely loved wearing. So I wanted to pay tribute to this as well, but I only worked with used secondhand leather. Yeah, and then at the end, like two or 3 days before the show, I had like a couple of yarns left. So I have been knitting them up into small tubes and have been weaving them in shape to create this bag to really make sure I make use of everything. And then, next to my chunky knit and the leather, I have been working also with a fine, intricate knitted lace, which I have been knitting fully fashioned, meaning it's coming out in the right shape according to my pattern. So there has been no waste with this. And yeah, for all my other looks, I really knitted up huge panels, as you can see here. On the left side, you see how the knit program looks. And then I have just been working with the big panels and draping around the body and let me go through the process. And yeah, in general, for my whole process, I have been in really close contact with my sister to make sure I find the right language for our story. And yeah, then, sorry, I'm going. But then at the end, I have been really happy that my sister was able to come join me in Paris for Fashion Week, and she has been able to walk my show, which has been not only a very special and important experience for her, but also for me to use this platform I have been giving to raise awareness and just show that there are so many other forms of normal, and that hopefully through a newspaper article she has been gotten afterwards in Germany, that she could kind of become a role model for others being in a similar situation. So I have been really proud of what we achieved so far, and I'm looking forward to develop our language for the future. Boop. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kira. And so now I'd like to introduce Royce Epstein, who's the Senior Director of Design Insights. Is that right? It changes every year. So congratulations on your new insightful title, Royce. And thank you again to Mohawk for supporting this prize. I'll let you speak a little bit more about your involvement.
Great. Thank you, Philip, and thank you, Lee. And Lee, extra congratulations. I wish I could have been there with you. So it's truly an honor to be on this jury for the Textile Prize and to see all of the thoughtful work. And I truly mean thoughtful. You can really see how much I don't want to necessarily say strategic design work, but there's so much heart and there's so much soul being poured into these projects, and it's very, very thoughtful. So I love what's happening in the world by all these emerging designers, and hopefully just from these 3 presentations, you got a little taste of what we saw in the jury. I'm really proud to be here on behalf of Mohawk Group. We're thrilled to sponsor the Dorothy Waxman Prize each year. And as you mentioned, Philip, this is in its 10th year. I think we've been sponsoring it for 9 years. So we're really thrilled to keep going. And we love helping to just shepherd the next generation of textile designers. If you're not familiar with Mohawk Group, we're the world's largest carpet and flooring manufacturer. So of course, our carpet designers are also textile designers. So there's the connection there. The judges this year were really interested to see themes of course, sustainability was very big, the use of natural materials, but also paying homage to artisanal craft and really the action of making that is responding to our human condition in today's era of climate change and some of the other stressors that we're seeing. So as Philip mentioned, we have 2 honorable mentions this year and 1 grand prize winner. The grand prize winner will win the $5,000 donation from Mohawk Group. Okay, so let's go with our 2 honorable mentions first. The first one I'm going to mention, and this was really an incredible project, Sabrina Stadlober. Congratulations, Sabrina, from Polimoda, presented her Soil to Soil collection. Yes, big applause for Sabrina. This blew us all away. It was just incredible. So this is an organic textile and fashion collection, of course, that highlighted circularity of materials, which is super urgent and important that we be thinking in this direction today, and really starting from and returning to nature. So, and as we saw, it was inspired by human life cycles. Sabrina created garments for each stage of life from infant to elder, and she used all natural fibers and multifaceted techniques. I think that's what we really loved about your collection, is that each era of age had different techniques that spoke to what's happening with our relationship to textiles in that age and also in our bodies. So that was just incredible. And the garments were just crafted with, again, thoughtful and meticulous attention to detail, which expressed the beauty and the transience of life. Her garments each spoke to their specific story, as I mentioned, and yet she really told a broader story about fragility and the essence of all nature. So congrats, Sabrina, for your exquisite project. And I really hope to see your garments in person someday soon.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I love that you're wearing a piece from your collection. So we're a little bit of a glimpse. So thank you. And our next honorable mention is Daniela Velázquez Suárez from Universidad Iberoamericana. Daniela, where are you? There you are. I see you on the screen. Also wearing a very cool outfit. Of course, we expect nothing less, right? So as you just saw, Daniela's project was inspired by a very rich artisanal heritage of mind weaving techniques of the Chimulas in Mexico. And she did such a nice job of addressing ancestral identity by speaking to sacred and spiritual textiles. And she also focused on sustainability, the conservation of community and culture, which is a very big topic today, as we know. And Daniela, your textiles were authentic. They showed respect for preserving textile heritage. So congratulations for such an impactful and beautiful project.
Thank you very much for the opportunity and for liking my work.
That was spectacular. Thank you. Okay, and so if you're following along and you've just been watching the videos, we've all figured it out that Kira is the winner of the Waxman Textile Prize for 2024. So Kira, congratulations. Kira's from the Institut Francaise de la Mode. And as we just saw in her presentation, her project is a fashion collection inspired by her nonverbal sister, Ilaria. And the project was a result of co-design. I want everybody to remember that term, co-design, because that's really important here. And that's a huge movement moving forward. So this project, again, co-designed between Kira and Ilaria, and it began with collecting rocks together on the beach. To me, that set the tone and the story for this very powerful collection that you were about to teach us about. So these stones with their diverse textures and colors became the design language for your knitwear collection. So Kira combined this with her sister's individual personal style that related to the form and shapes of the clothing that Kira was designing. And together they found a connection between them that tells Ilaria's story through these material explorations, but also Kira's pushing the boundaries in textiles and knits. And Kira also focused on sustainable making, minimizing waste, using dead stock. These are all very important things we all have to be doing as textile designers. Of course, working with leftover materials, but also connecting us to nature and also to empathy, two very important things that we need to do today. So with this project, Kira shows us that textiles hold meaning. They can speak for us when we cannot. So congratulations, Kira, for such an amazing and inspirational project.
Thank you guys so much. I feel really, really honored and sorry. No, it's just really great that yeah, this work really reaches people. And yeah, sorry, I'm just super tired also. We have been working so many hours, but yeah, I'm really thankful. Thank you guys so much. It means a lot.
You're very welcome. I certainly hope to meet you in the future personally. Same with Daniela. Sabrina and I have already met, so we know each other. But love to meet all of you as all of the students who participated. So I just want to mention before we move on, all three projects collectively inspired the jury with new future ways of working. This is what we're looking for, new ways of working to push us and textiles into the future. And that really goes deeper than just cloth and textiles itself, right? I think all of you promoted the bonds of humanity while fostering bonds with nature and also each other. So congratulations to everybody who participated, especially those of you who were shortlisted, and of course to our three special honorees here today. Thank you so much, and we can't wait to see what you do in the future.
Thank
Lee,
you.
I think Lee's going to come on and say something now.
Yeah, we have a special announcement as well. Lee?
Yes, as a jury, we found it very difficult to come to conclusions because between the three of you, it's a very close call. And therefore, we have decided to give to Daniela and Sabrina also a more modest price of $1,000 each from Talking Textiles, because we want to honor the fact that in fact, you are almost like a team or a group. The spirit between the three of you is similar. The way you've been working is similar with the diversity of materials and so on. And as you say, Royce, the humanity in it all. So we thought for once that the special mention should also be a little prize. So congratulations.
So yeah, congratulations to everyone. And thank you again, Royce, for allowing Mohawk to support us in this way. Thank you. So we're